Hi, and welcome to another video by Jimthecarguy. Today we have a 2006, it's a Nissan Altima. The car comes in, actually it's from another shop. They got an estimate from another repair shop and it was kind of expensive, so they came in for a second opinion. And basically what it is I scanned it to find out what the code was all about. There is a code in the engine, and the customer talks about a noise up in the engine itself also. When I scanned it, it came up with a code. It was a PO420, and catalytic converter efficiency is low. The previous shop that the car was to recommended replacement of both catalytic converters. As you know, converters, they're not cheap, they're expensive. So we wanted to get a second opinion. After I drove the vehicle, I realized that he most likely does not have a problem with the catalytic converters, as the previous shop said. The noise he's getting is actually a pretty significant exhaust noise. At idle, you don't hear anything, it sounds fine. Under acceleration is when you get the noise. So what's happening is down underneath the vehicle, I'm going to show you up front what the noise is all about, but I'm also going to show you what that noise is. What happens is you have the first catalytic converter up on the top of the engine off of the exhaust manifold. You have a donut that's inside there with spring bolts to hold it together, and then you have the flex pipe that goes down into the second catalytic converter. What's happening is that gasket in between there, when the engine flexes and moves a little bit, the donut's blown out. The problem is up in the front is where you have the first sensor, and in the back behind that exhaust leak is where you have that second sensor. So what's happening is the air-fuel ratio sensor and the O2 sensor are sensing that exhaust leak in between the two of them, and therefore lighting up the code for the 420 for the catalytic converter. So let me show you what the noise sounds like. Then I'm going to lift it up and I'm going to show you exactly. Give me 1 second right there. And then, sorry, I lost my train of thought. I'm going to lift it up and I'm going to show you exactly how we're going to go about repairing the problem. So let me show you the noise first, and then we'll show you what we're going to do to repair it. Okay, now we're inside the car, and I just want to show you what it sounds like. Sounds fairly decent, right? We're going to drop it in gear, we're going to power brake it. Hear that? I'll take you up underneath the bottom now, and I'll show you where that exhaust leak has taken place. Okay, this is underneath the vehicle now. This is underneath the center of the vehicle, and as you can see, you have the one catalytic converter right back in there. You've got the oxygen sense, one of the sensors here in the exhaust. You also have this flex right in here too, which is actually, it's a very common problem for it to leak right through that flex also. And you have your second sensor, which is actually located all the way up top there. You can see that. So what's happening is when the engine accelerates under load, this piece right here opens up. And when this opens up, you have the exhaust leaking out through here, thereby reducing the amount of exhaust passing through here. So the reading that it's getting off of the front sensor and the rear sensor is what's most likely causing the catalytic converter efficiency to actually light up. So what we're going to do is we're going to take out these spring bolts right here, this one as well as this one. Fairly easy job, it looks like. We're just going to take these out. If it breaks, well, actually, we're going to change these anyway. We're not going to use these over again because the springs could be just worn out also. We are going to check the engine mounts, which are located up in the front here, just to make sure, because if you have a bad engine mount up in the front here, it's going to cause the engine to lift too much, and it's going to wind up wearing out that new gasket in there. So, all right, let's take this out. We're going to get some tools, and let's get started. Now looking at it from the bottom, obviously, if you have an air gun, you can shoot these bolts off because it doesn't matter if they snap off because there's a nut on the other side, and we're going to be changing everything anyway. Now if you got an air gun, you can just shoot the bolts right out. And if you don't have an air gun, you can do it the other way too, just with a ratchet. You can unscrew it and take it right out. But it doesn't really matter. Like I said, you're going to be changing these bolts anyway, so if they snapped off, it doesn't really matter, because the nut is actually it's a nut and bolt type setup on here. I'll show you when I take it off. Now obviously some of the exhausts you can't do that, because the bolt actually has threads in the converter itself. But in this case it has nut and bolt through like this, so we don't have to worry about that. We're going to be changing it. And we're just going to pull this down and out of the way. And this is our gasket. It's actually leaking. So let me grab that new gasket. We'll put it on. And you can see right here where it's worn away right here. So that's where the exhaust leak is taking place right now. Let me grab the new one and we'll put this back together. Okay, as you can see, this is the new one versus the old one. So we're going to put the new one in there. We'll put the new spring bolt kit in, and we'll get this job wrapped up, and we'll take it for a spin, make sure it's okay. So we're just going to put that right there for now. We're going to grab the new spring bolts that we got for it. We're going to catch them both first. Don't tighten anything up yet. Now I just want to point this out. These spring bolts have this little sleeve on there, so you can't over tighten it. You're going to tighten it down as far as you can until this sleeve comes in contact with it up here. So you can't over tighten it. Now you can use an air gun if you want to, but being old school, I like doing it by hand so I can actually feel how tight it is. I usually tighten them up evenly. Okay, this is just to hold the nut so it doesn't rotate in the back while I tighten it up in the front. Okay, and that's it. I'll take you up a closer. Basically what you want to do is you want to make sure that the sleeve is actually up against the manifold assembly here, and it's nice and tight. Alright, so next thing we're going to do is we're going to lower it down, turn that light off, take it for a road test and make sure it's okay, and another job out the door. Hopefully the catalytic converter itself is still in good shape, but we'll see as we drive it now just to make sure. But I got a feeling it's going to take care of it because of that exhaust leak we had in here. It'll give us some false readings. So, all right, let me take it for a ride and wrap it up and out the door. All right, as always, thanks for watching. Any questions or comments, you drop me a line. Be more than happy to talk to anybody about anything. As always, thanks for watching. See you on the next one.